All right, guys, we're back with round one, Edison format, Epic Cards and Games in Hurst, Texas. We got Jomar on the left playing, I'm going to call this a 60 card pile Diva Hero deck. So it's just a bunch of good cards thrown into a 60 card deck. He's playing like Divas, Hero Engine, Monarchs, Treeborn, and just like I said, a bunch of good cards. Versus Donnell, dnasty playing Diva Hero Beat. So this guy Jomar's going first. I'm in Cyber Valley, he sets one back row. This is actually Jomar's first time on the channel. He plays a little bit of Edison, but he's mostly plays advanced or modern Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever you guys call it. And here, Donnell MST's bottomless. But like I said, we're taking over on my locals. We're getting so many new players, and a lot of the advanced players are making Edison decks. As I told people, if you want to grow the Edison community, the best way is to try and get people who already play Yu-Gi-Oh to just build an Edison deck. That's how you do it. All right. So at least that's one way to do it. You can also get people who haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh in a while. Maybe they'll come occasionally. So here, Jomar sets a monster. I guess the real name of this deck is basically just Diva Hero with bet 60 cards. That's what I'm gonna call it, 60 card Diva Hero. So Donald's got Alias, one back row. I love the creativity in Edison. It's just lately people are coming up, like my friend Bronder's building like he's playing like a zombie cat deck, and then my friend Victor's playing Machina Hero, and now the 60 card Diva Hero deck. Alright, so Donnell goes Diva into Gilman. What's he gonna do? He could go, I mean, he could make a Brio, bounce the face down. He could bounce the Treeborn as well if he wants to, depending on the rest of his cards in his hand. Yeah, they're both at AK. So Donnell, obviously guys who've been watching the channel know Donnell. He's been on the channel since the beginning. He's got like, I think, the 4th most wins on the channel. He's won about 6 tournaments. Yeah, he's won 6. So you're trying to go for that 7th win. Here, Donnell Brios bounces the face down and attacks. Oh, he had 2 Honest in his hand, so he kept the other one. So he hits Jomar for 23. No Gores from Jomar. Does Donnell have a way to deal with Gores? I mean, those of you guys who may watch the previous tournament, I walked into a Gores and just cost me the game. All right, so here Jomar Gold Sarks. It makes sense playing Gold Sark in a 60 card deck. You want to Gold Sark search the best cards. And here Jomar Gold Sark's Future Fusion. Weird. That's like the #1 card that gets Gold Sark. That and Judgment Dragon are like the big 2 cards that always get Gold Sarked. Alright, so Jomar's normal summon Stratos, and Donnell's got 2 back rows. Jomar's at 53. What is he going to get? So he chooses Evil Hero Prodigy. $53, 8,000. Shout out to Donnell for keeping track of the life points so I don't have to. Because I say this all the time, but there are times when I can't tell my opponent's attack. Because some people when they attack, they just speak. They're like, attack with this guy. Okay, so Stratos. It looks like Donnell's going to prison the Stratos. So yeah, he's probably going to try and go for game next turn. Especially if Jomar doesn't set any back rows. He specials Prodigy. And like, he didn't drop the Gores last turn. So he would have to have drawn the Gores. But more than likely, Jomar drew the Gold Sark. So I would have done the same thing that Donnell just did. It's like, the card you drew for your turn must have been Gold Sark. Because you would have played that right away. Alright, so Donnell takes a quick game 1. Let's see if Jomar can pull off the Legacy 2-0. Win game 2 and 3. Alright, so he starts off by summoning Barbros. Like I said, this is just a bunch of good cards. A 60 card pile. Barbros is not bad, though. So Donnell heavies the D-Prison, normal Alias, and he drops the Honest. So right away, Jomar's going to take 19. Donnell sets 1. Cyber Dragon. That's the one thing about Hero Beat. A lot of times, like, you can't really deal with Cyber Dragon. That's why I don't like siding like Shadow Mirror against Vayu Turbo when I play Hero Beat, because a lot of times they just beat me down with Cyber Dragon. So here He already Donnell loses half his life. So he tributes for Thestalos, uses the Stalos effect. Jomar is getting ready to roll the dice, but Donnell has a solemn. I think if he has rug, he would have slammed the rug right away. But I think it's definitely solemn. Or yeah, there's nothing else he would think of. It has to be solemn. I think he can't afford to lose the cards in his hand. So now Donnell's at 2K. Jomar's got Mirror Force and Karma Cut. So what do? You set both? Heavy Storm's gone, so I guess the Mirror Force can protect your Cyber Dragon, and then you can like Karma Cut next turn after you draw a card. Donnell's got 3 cards in hand, and he sets. He attacks Dinah. I guess Dinah's not bad against this 60 card pile deck. Stops Treeborn Frog. Stops Miracle Fusion, so it's not a bad side deck. Okay, Donnell's got Captain Gold in his hand. And there's Snowman, so Donnell's now, what, 18? Does not have a back row? If he doesn't have a back... Well, we know one of them is Captain Gold. Oh, he's got Captain Gold and Alias. Yeah, just any monster in this game. Yeah, Caius is game. So, quick, first 2 games. So, Jomar forces a game 3. So, who's gonna move on with a round 1 win? dnasty or Jomar? Again, first time for Jomar on the channel. I usually try and get the new players, but the only issue is, like, a lot of the new players, they're not as familiar with the format, so they're more likely to make mistakes. Even though, I mean, we all make mistakes. I messed up in the finals the other day. All right, so Donnell Trap Dust Shoots. Jomar's hand is Crow, Caius, Treeborn. The spells are Enemy Controller, Soul Exchange, and Phoenix Wing Blast. Yeah, it was pretty obvious Caius was the call there. So you saw Jomar didn't hide the spell and traps. People in my locals have been doing that. And the problem is I'm probably the reason they're doing it because I've seen people... I think you just have to give them a respectable amount of time to look at your spell and traps. That's how I do it. Now, you don't have to sit there and let them examine your hand either, but just give them a respectable time. But some people take things too far. That's just my opinion on the whole trap dust shoot thing. Some people are like, they don't want to give you any extra advantage. They're like, here's my spell trap. Boom, they send them down right away. Now, at locals, I'm not picky, but maybe if I'm in a big tournament, I'll be a little bit more... I'll be a little more, like, harsh. Like, I'll still give you time, but I'm not going to sit there and just let you examine my hand for, like, 5 minutes. Anyway, let's get to the duel. So, 62, 8K. I just wanted to go over that dust shoot thing, because I've seen it happen a lot on the videos where some people just... They're really harsh with the dust shoot thing. Okay, so we got Stratos, Alias... So here's a Snowman, and he pops the Alias. See, I think here maybe Jomar should have popped the Dinah. Because Alias can't deal with your Snowman. And now Donnell can, like, Hero Blast your Snowman. But maybe you were playing around Gemini Spark. I don't know. I mean, his hand's not good anyway. So, no matter what Donnell did. I mean, I could see him popping the Alias. But then you can bring back your Treeborn right now, so it's a tough choice. But then, nah, maybe. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Should he have popped the Dinah or the Alias? Okay, so what's Donnell going to do? Donnell's got, like, Miracle Fusion in hand, Honest. Yeah, it looks like Honest. Honest, Miracle Fusion, and he set another monster. Yeah, Dinah's pretty good. Now that I'm thinking about Dinah's pretty good against this Diva Hero deck. Like, if they swarm the field on you and you survive, you just set the Dinah and then they just attack into it. Okay, 62, 8,000. So we know most of Jomar's cards. There's Econ, Soul Exchange, Phoenix Wing Blast, and Soul Exchange. This is definitely Diva Hero Monarchs. Like, he's playing Thestalos as well. So here he discards Crow to put the Dyna back. I don't really like Crow against Diva Hero Beat. Like, yeah, sometimes you can get you can, like, force the, what's the card called? The Miracle Fusion to fizzle out, but it doesn't always happen. And you can also DD Crow Hero Blast. That card it's really good against. DD Crow is really good against Hero Blast. So here, Donnell pulling the rugs, Diva. Donnell did not slam the pull in the rug. For those of you guys who maybe watched Donnell in the past, I think he only slams pulling the rug when it's Caius. He really, really hates Caius. I think in the previous video, I think it was top 4, Ryan brain controlled. He had 2 cards in his hand, and he goes brain control Caius, and he, of course, Donnell had to mention in the comments. He had to say something. Okay, so Donnell's like in a good spot, but the only issue is he can't deal with Jomar Snowman. That's why a lot of people like siding Snowman against Hero Beat. Like, I remember one time I was playing my friend Josh J at locals, and I was like cooked. I was playing my Hero Frog deck, and Josh was playing Diva Hero Beat, and he couldn't deal with my Snowman. He had like double Dyna, a bunch of back rows, and I was just stalling him out with Dyna, and eventually he drew a Compulse and compulsed my Snowman and then beat me. But I stalled him out like a few turns. If Josh watches that almost like all the videos, so he'll probably mention in the comments that story. If you guys don't believe any of the stuff I say, all the stuff, I just have really good memory. So, like, anytime I see a situation, it reminds me of something that happened to me in, like, a previous duel. Alright, anyway, let's see. Now, Donnell sets the 3rd back row. Jomar's got brain control in his hand. Kind of rooting for Jomar. Now, for those of you guys who want to ask for deck profiles, I usually only get deck profiles for first place. I don't like to get deck profiles for, like, 2nd or 3rd. I feel like you have to earn it. If you get first place at the local, I'll give you a deck profile. If it's an interesting deck. But I'm not just going to just throw random deck profiles. I can't. I don't want to. Alright, so let's see. If you guys are interested in the 60 card pile, hopefully Jomar can win this tournament and I'll get his deck profile. Or at least I'll ask him for it. Because some people like Donnell didn't want to share one of his deck profiles. I think when he won with Chaos Black Wings, he said, I don't want to share it. So sometimes the players refuse, just letting you guys know. Okay, let's get now to the duel. So Donnell still can't deal with the Snowman. Life points are 62 to 8,000. So Jomar did use the Wing Blast that we knew from the Trap Dust Shoot. The only card he hasn't used is Soul Exchange and Econ. He hasn't used either of those. Okay, so Jomar's got Malicious in hand. So he summoned Spine Gilman. Gilly. I wonder in a 60-card deck. He drew the Gilman in a 60-card deck. I wonder if he only plays one. It'd be pretty funny if he only plays one and drew it in a 60-card deck. Alright, so Jomar takes 200. This is how you know Jomar is an advanced Yu-Gi-Oh player or modern Yu-Gi-Oh player, because no one would play 40 cards. No, sorry. No one would play 60 cards. That's like it's an only Edison player. Jomar, he's just like used to playing a 60 card deck in advanced. Alright. So Jomar's thinking, I mean, what can he do here? You're staring down Fossil Dyna, so what's your options? They're both just stalling. Neither one of them. This has been a grind game. What's crazy is the first 2 games were like so quick, so like blowouts, and this 3rd game has been just a grind. Neither one of them can deal with their sets. So here he econs the Gilman, and Donnell chains Compulse on the Stratos. I mean, you didn't have to do that. What were you afraid of? Him? I guess Donnell was afraid. Yeah, Donnell was afraid Jomar was going to tribute for a Monarch. And I think that's why he compulsed the Stratos. Because if Donnell can stop the Monarch, then... Like, right now, Jomar needs that Snowman to stick. So I think that's why Donnell compulsed. He didn't want Jomar to tribute the Stratos for a Monarch. Okay, Donnell sets another monster and passes. So Jomar still has not used the Soul Exchange or the Brain Control in his hand. So I think the three cards in Jomar's hand are Soul Exchange, Brain Control, and Malicious. Anytime I play a Malicious deck, I'm always scared. Like, what if I draw the second Malicious? So I try to use it as quickly as possible. Oh, okay, here comes the Snowman. So Jomar activates Skill Drain. And Donnell chains Compulse on the Snowman. Oh, okay. So Jomar chains Karma Cut. But that Snowman is still going to activate. No matter what. I guess maybe he just wants the Mally in his graveyard. And now Snowman's going to get popped. Can Donnell put 5k? Dinah's effect is no longer active, so he can play his Miracle Fusions and stuff as well. Yeah. This might just be game. He has a normal summoned. Yeah, flip Dinah, switch. So this is 12, 24, that's 35. He doesn't have a monster with 1500 attack? Let's see. So he's checking his grade. He's reading Karma Cut. I mean, you can make Force of Earth. Is Force of Earth game? No, I don't think Force of Earth is game. Oh, he has Gilman, too. Yeah, how's this not game? No, what's taking so long, man? What are you afraid of? Yeah, just summon, Miracle, game. Miracle, the alias, yeah, that's game. So Donnell wins game 3. He's moving on with a round 1 win. Hopefully Jomar can fight back and we can see more of the 60 card pile. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that duel. We'll be back soon for the rest of the tournament. Bye, guys.